Narayanam namaskritya naram narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayanti nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevayam bhagavati uttam shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Lila, chapter 14, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feelings of separation from Krishna. Text 33 onwards. So last verse was Mahaprabhu had assumed the mood of the gopis, so much so that everywhere he looked, he saw Krishna standing his flute to his lips. Eve yadi sari strire dekhi prabhur bhaya haila Jagannath Subhadra Balaramera Swarup dekhi. After seeing the woman, the Lord's external consciousness returned, and he saw the original deity forms of Lord Jagannath, Subhadra, and Lord Balaram. So after seeing that lady, the one who stood upon the Lord and held on to Garuda Stone to take darshan of Lord Jagannath. Kurukshetra dekhi Krishna aiche haila mana. Kaha Kurukshetra aila kaha Vrindavan. When he saw the deities, Lord Chaitanya thought he was seeing Krishna in Kurukshetra. He wondered, have I come to Kurukshetra? Where is Vrindavan? Prapna Ratna Haraya Aiche Vyagra Hailam Vishanna Haya Prabhu Nijavasa Hailam. Lord Chaitanya grew very much agitated, like a person who has just lost a recently acquired jewel. Then he became very morose and returned home. भूमिर ऊपर वशी निज नखे भूमि लेखे अशु गंगा नेत्रे वहे किछुई ना देखे. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat down on the ground and began to mark it with his fingernails. He was blinded by tears which flowed from his eyes like the Ganga. Pailu Vrindavan nath punah harai ki mor nilek Krishna kaha mohi ai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I found Krishna, the Lord of Vrindavan, but I have lost him again. Who has taken my Krishna? Where have I come? These are the feelings of Srimati Radharani. First, Lord Chaitanya felt that he had been taken to Vrindavan, where he saw Krishna's ras dance with the gopis. Then he was brought to Kurukshetra to see Lord Jagannath, his sister Subhadra, and Lord Balaram. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lost Vrindavan and Krishna, the master of Vrindavan. At this time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu experienced Divyonmad, transcendental madness in separation from Krishna. At Kurukshetra, Krishna displays his opulence, whereas in Vrindavan, he is in his original position. Krishna never goes even a step away from Vrindavan. Therefore, Kurukshetra is less important for the gopis than Vrindavan. Although devotees who worship Krishna in opulence, his Vaikuntha aspect, may prefer to see Lord Krishna at Kurukshetra along with Subhadra and Balaram, the gopis want to see Krishna in Vrindavan, performing the Rasa dance with Srimati Radharani. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed by practical example how one can cultivate the mood of Radharani and the other gopis in separation from Krishna. Devotees absorbed in this mood do not like to see Krishna anywhere else but Vrindavan. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lamented, I found Krishna in Vrindavan and now I've again lost him and come to Kurukshetra. Unless one is a very highly advanced devotee, he cannot understand these intricate feelings. The author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, however, has tried to explain this Divyonmad as far as possible. And it is our duty simply to appreciate it as far as possible. Therefore, the author has made the following request in verse 11. Tate Vishwasa Kari Shun Bhavera Varnan, Aive Bhavera Gyan, Paiva Premadhan. My dear readers, please try to hear this description with faith and love. That will help you understand transcendental ecstasy, and at last you will achieve love of Godhead very easily. So Mahaprabhu, when he saw Jagannath, he saw Krishna in Kurukshetra. That was his mood of seeing Lord Jagannath in the Sri temple. But he wanted to see Krishna in Vrindavan, just like the gopis. They didn't like Krishna in Kurukshetra. That's why the Rath Yatra happened. They were pulling Krishna's chariot from Kurukshetra and taking him to Vrindavan. This is their mood. And actually, once one devotee also mentioned, although Mahaprabhu, when he was in Jagannath Puri, he attended the return Rath Yatra also from Gundicha to main temple. But that devotee said, actually, then we are taking Jagannathji or Krishna away from Vrindavan to Kurukshetra. So devotees don't like that, gopis don't like that. Anyway, everybody has different mood. But this is the mood of gopis. They didn't want to see Krishna anywhere except Vrindavan. Swapna Veshe Preme Prabhu Gar Gar Mana Baya Haile Hayena Haraile Dhan. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dreamed of the Ras dance, he was fully absorbed in transcendental bliss. But when his dream broke, he thought he had lost a precious jewel. Unmatere Praya Prabhu Karen Gana Nritya Dehe Rasu Bhave Karen Snan Bhojan Kritya. Thus Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would dance and chant, always absorbed in the bliss of transcendental madness. He carried out the necessities of the body, such as eating and bathing, merely out of habit. But his pleasure, his bliss, madness was in chanting and dancing. Actually, that is real chanting and dancing when we are doing it in the bliss of love of Krishna, in the bliss of transcendental madness. That is real chanting when it comes out from the bottom of our heart with full emotions. And the bliss, because of that, makes the devotee dance. Not the other way around. Like people go to bars and clubs, so they want to dance here in the rock, whatever, festival. They dance to become happy. But the devotees are the other way around. Their bliss makes them dance. See the difference? And the bliss and the feelings, the ecstasies, the emotions that come out, then that chanting, whether in kirtan or in japa, that is a perfect chanting. So that's why it's called Divya Unmad, madness, transcendental madness. Ratri Haile Swarup Ramananda Laya, Apan Maner Bhava Kahe Ughadi. At night, Lord Chaitanya would reveal to Swarup Damodar and Ramanand Rai the ecstatic feelings of his mind. Prapta Pranash Chayutta Vitta Atma, Yayo Vishado Jita Deha Geha. गृहीत कापालिका धर्म को में वृंदावनम सेंद्रिय शिष्य वृंदा. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, at first my mind somehow achieved the treasure of Krishna, but it again lost him. Therefore it gave up my body and home because of lamentation and accepted the religious principles of a Kapalik yogi. Then my mind went to Vrindavan with its disciples, my senses. Of course, this is all metaphorical. But the mind, Mahaprabhu is saying, mind, when it achieved the treasure of Krishna, lost him again. So in separation, it accepted the principles of a Kapalik yogi, means complete absorption, samadhi in Krishna. That is the real samadhi. Prapta Ratna Haraya, Tara Guna Shanariya, Mahaprabhu Santape Vivala, Rai Swarupera Kantadhari, Kahe Haha Hari Hari, Dhare Gela Haila Chapala. Having lost his acquired gem, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became overwhelmed with lamentation by remembering its attributes. Then, grasping the necks of Ramanand Rai and Swarup Damodar Goswami, he cried, "Alas, where is my Lord Hari? Where is Hari?" Finally, he became restless and lost all patience. Shunu bandhav Krishnera madhuri, yara lobha mora mana, chadi lok veda dharma, yogi haha, haya haila bhikkari. My dear friends, he said, please hear of sweet Krishna's sweetness. Because of a great desire for that sweetness, my mind has given up all social and Vedic religious principles and taken to the profession of begging, exactly like a mystic yogi. Krishna Lila Mandal Shuddha Shanka Kundal Gadi Yache Shuk Karikara Sei Kundal Kane Pari Krishna Lao Thali Dhari Asha Jhuli Kandhe Upara. The ring of Krishna's Ras Leela, manufactured by Shukdev Goswami, the most auspicious craftsman, is as pure as an earring made from a conch shell. The yogi of my mind is wearing that earring upon his ear. From a gourd, he has carved out the bowl of my aspirations, and he has taken the bag of my expectations on his shoulder. So much of poetry is involved. Chinta kanta udi gaye, dhuli vibhuti malin kaye, aha Krishna pralapa uttara, udvega dvadasha hate, lobhera jhulani mate, bhiksha bhave kshina kalevara. The yogi of my mind wears a torn quilt of anxiety on his dirty body, which is covered with dust and ashes. His only words are, alas, Krishna. He wears 12 bangles of distress on his wrist and a turban of greed on his head. Because he has not eaten anything, he is very thin. Vyasa Shukadi Yogi Gana Krishna Atma Niranjana Vraje Tada Yat Lila Gana Bhagavatadi Shastra Gane Kari Yache Varnane Sei Tarja Pade Anukshana. The great yogi of my mind always studies the poetry and discussions of Lord Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes. In Srimad Bhagavatam and other scriptures, great saintly yogis like Vyasadeva and Shukdev Goswami have described Lord Krishna as a supersoul beyond all material contamination. Dashendriya Shishya Kari Mahabaula Namadhari Shishya Laya Kari Lagamana Mor Deha Swasadan Vishay Bhoga Mahadhan Sab Chadi Gela Vrindavan. The mystic yogi of my mind has assumed the name of Mahabaula and made disciples of my 10 senses. Thus my mind has gone to Vrindavan, leaving aside the home of my body and the great treasure of material enjoyment. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu compares his mind to one of the mystic yogis known as Bauls. So Baul means crazy guy. Or here it is Mahabaul of a great mendicant. But Baul also means crazy. And great yogi, mystic yogi is known as Baul, and who makes at least 10 disciples. So 10 disciples are the 10 senses, and mind is a guru of those 10 senses. वृंदावने प्रजागण यत स्थावर जंगम वृक्ष लता गृहस्थ आश्रम तार घर भिक्षाटन फल मूल पत्राशन यही वृत्ति करे शिष्य साने. In Vrindavan, he goes from door to door begging alms with all his disciples. He begs from both the moving and inert inhabitants, the citizens, the trees, and the creepers. In this way, he lives on fruits, roots, and leaves. So begging alms with his disciples. So senses, what they're asking is Krishna darshan, Krishna seva. And this is what the mind is looking for. Krishna guna rupa ras, gandha shabda parash, sei sudha swade gopi gana, tasabara grasa sheshe, ani panchendriya sheshe, se bhikshaye rakhen jivana. The gopis of Brajabhumi always taste the nectar of Krishna's attributes. His beauty, his sweetness, his aroma, the sound of his flute, and the touch of his body. My mind's 5 disciples, the senses of perception, gather remnants of that nectar from the gopis and bring them to the yogi of my mind. The senses maintain their lives by eating those remnants. Shunya kunja mandap kone yoga bhasha Krishna dhyane taha rahe laya shishya gana. Krishna atma niranjana sakshat dekhite man dhyane ratri kare jagrana. There is a solitary garden where Krishna enjoys his pastimes, and in one corner of the pavilion in that garden, the yogi of my mind, along with his disciples, practices mystic yoga. Wanting to see Krishna directly, this yogi remains awake throughout the night, meditating on Krishna, who's a super soul, uncontaminated by the 3 modes of nature. So meditating on Krishna, who's a super soul, the mind is also always meditating on Krishna, or this yogi here, metaphorically. And where he is meditating, there is a solitary garden where Krishna enjoys his pastimes. So mind, Mahaprabhu's mind is meditating on that Krishna. Mana Krishna viyogi, dukhe mana haila yogi, sevi yoge dasha dasha aya. Se dashaya vyakulhaya, mana gela palaya, shunya mora sharira alaya. When my mind lost the association of Krishna and could no longer see him, my mind became depressed and took up mystic yoga. In the void of separation from Krishna, he experienced 10 transcendental transformations. Agitated by these transformations, my mind fled, leaving my body, his place of residence, empty. Thus, I am completely in trance. In this verse, the outward activities of the Kapalic mendicants have been described, but not their actual life. The Kapalic mendicants are tantric materialists who carry skulls in their hands. They're not Vaishnavas and have nothing to do with spiritual life. Therefore, they are untouchable. Only an outward comparison has been made between the mind and their activities, but their behavior should not be imitated. But this is how Mahaprabhu's mind has been described. Krishnera viyoge gopira dasha dashahai, sei dasha dashahai prabhura udrai. When the gopis felt separation from Krishna, they experienced 10 kinds of bodily transformations. These same symptoms appeared in the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chintatra jagrodavego tanavam malingangata pralapo vyadhirunumado moho mrityur dashadasha. The 10 bodily transformations resulting from separation from Krishna are anxiety, wakefulness, mental agitation, thinness and uncleanness, talking like a madman, disease, madness, illusion, and death. This verse is a part of description of Srimati Radharani's different traits from Ujjwal Nilamani by Srila Rupa Goswami. In his book, he elaborately explains the 10 symptoms as follows. Chinta means anxiety. So at Akrura's request, Krishna and Balram left the house of Nanda Maharaj for Mathura. At that time, the mind of Srimati Radharani was disrupted, and she became almost mad because of extreme separation from Krishna. She experienced great mental pain and agitation, which caused her to drown in mental speculation in the river of anxiety. She thought, now I am going to die, and when I die, Krishna will surely come back to see me again. But when he hears of my death from the people of Vrindavan, he will certainly be very, very unhappy. Therefore, I shall not die. This is the explanation of the word chinta, anxiety. So she wants to die, but she doesn't want to die at the same time. Jagar or wakefulness, thinking herself very unfortunate. Srimati Radharani addressed a very dear friend, Vishaka. My dear friend, if I could see Krishna in my dreams, I would certainly be glorified for my great fortune. But what can I do? Sleep also plays mischievously with me. Indeed, it has become my enemy. Therefore, I have not slept since the departure of Krishna. Udvega, mental agitation. Srimati Radharani addressed Lalita. My dear beautiful face, Lalita, I cannot express how my heart is burning. It's a great unfathomable ocean of anxiety. Still, I wish to offer my obeisances at your lotus feet. What shall I do? Please consider my condition and advise me how I can become peaceful. That is my desire. Then is Tanam or thinness. When Uddhav returned to Mathura after visiting Krishna, Lord Krishna inquired from him about Radharani and Vishaka. Uddhav replied as follows, consider the condition of the gopis. Srimati Radharani is in a very painful condition because of separation from him. She has grown skinny and her bodily luster is almost gone. Her heart is immersed in pain, and because she has given up eating, her breasts have become black as if diseased. Because of separation from you, all the gopis, especially Radharani, appear like dried up water holes under the scorching heat of the sun. And then is Malin Angata, uncleanliness. Uddhav said to Krishna, O most auspicious Krishna, please hear me. The tribulation caused by your absence has made Vishaka languid. Her lips tremble like trees in a strong wind. Her beautiful face is like a lotus flower that is withered under the snow. And her eyes are like lotus petals scorched by the heat of the autumn sun. Pralap, mad talking. This is Srimati Radharani's lamentation for her beloved Krishna, who was away from home. A woman whose husband has left home and gone to a foreign land is called Proshit Bhartrika. Lamenting for Krishna in the same way that such a woman laments for her husband. Srimati Radharani said, my dear friend, where is the glory of Maharaj Nanda's family, Krishna, who wears a half-moon ornament on his head? Where is Krishna, whose hue is like that of the Indranila jewel and who plays so nicely on his flute? Where's your friend, the best of all men, so expert in dancing in the circle of the Ras dance? Where is he who's the real medicine to save me from dying of heart disease? I must condemn Providence, for he has caused me so many tribulations by separating me from Krishna. And then is Vyadhi, disease. Being greatly afflicted by the pain of separation from Krishna, Srimati Radharani said, my dear Lalita, kindly hear me. I cannot bear suffering the fever of separation from Krishna. Nor can I explain it to you. It is something like gold melting in an earthen box. This fever produces more distress than poison, and it is more piercing than a thunderbolt. I suffer exactly like someone almost dead from cholera. To be giving me so much pain, this fever must be very strong indeed. And then is Unmad, madness. Uddhav said to Krishna, my dear Krishna, all the gopis are so afflicted by your absence that they have almost become mad. O Murari, at home, Srimati Radharani laughs unnecessarily and like a mad woman inquires about you from every entity without distinction, even from the stones. She rolls on the ground, unable to bear the agony of your absence. Moha, illusion. Lalita wrote Krishna the following letter on Srimati Radharani's behalf. My dear Krishna, Srimati Radharani has fallen unconscious on the ground. Her mind greatly agitated by your separation from you. O enemy of Kansa, you have now become a first-class politician and therefore you can supposedly give relief to everyone. Therefore, please consider the plight of Srimati Radharani, or very soon you will hear of her death. Maybe at that time you will lament, although now you are jubilant. And then is Mrityu. In the following letter, Lalita chastised Krishna for staying in Mathura. Simply by dancing in the circle of the Ras dance, you attracted Srimati Radharani's love. Why are you now so indifferent to my dear friend Radharani? She is lying nearly unconscious, thinking of your pastimes. I shall determine whether she is alive by putting a cotton swab under her nostrils. And if she is still living, I shall chastise her. So why cotton swab? Because it has very fine strand, and even it can detect, even there is a little movement of breath in the nostrils. Otherwise, she's like, there are no signs of any life in her. So these are the symptoms of Mahaprabhu. Anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments. Okay, you all have safe and meaningful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.